Good morning, crafty friends, or I guess maybe good afternoon or good evening, right? Depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you so much for being here for my first Let's Get Crafty live stream. These will just be the streams I come and just get crafty, right? It's not like if I do a Crafty Tuesday where I make at least 2 projects, or if it's like an Oh So Inspired live or a sheet load live. This is just to get crafty and have fun, and I'm so glad that you're here with me. If you are watching in the live chat, please let us know where you're watching from if you haven't already. And if you're watching us on replay, make sure to let us know down in that comment section where you're watching from and include the hashtag replay so I know that you are here. I would like to give a big shout out to all of my channel members over in the chat. Their names are highlighted, I think, in green for you, and they have a little icon next to them. And I also would like to say thank you to Diane McCall and Catherine Lindeman for becoming members. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you very much.
My sound effects are working again since it's just me and the sound isn't going to my ears. Let's see. I do see lots of you already chatting, getting to know each other. One thing I do want to share that when I am crafting, I get kind of focused down here on my own little area, what I'm doing, and I'll be able to look up from time to time to see like if you have any questions. But if you have a question specifically for me, either tag me over in the chat by typing @CallMeCraftyAl, and it should bring up, if you're on like a desktop or a laptop, a little box that you can click on my name, and it highlights it for me just perfect. It makes it stand out. Now, if you're on a mobile device, if you just want to type question in all capitals in front of your question, then I will know it's for me. But if you just have general crafty questions, there are going to be so many people over in that chat who are going to be able to help you out. So as I'm crafting, feel free to talk amongst yourselves. This is just time for us to hang out and let's get crafty, right? I do have on my apron today with my glittery vinyl. I do have a video how I made this. My plan was to make a t-shirt for these lives with that same little thing on it. But guys, I was so lazy over the weekend. If you were lazy over the weekend, let me know over there in that chat too, so I don't feel all alone. But today's Let's Get Crafty Live is going to be all about the new Happy Half Sheets from Tailored Expressions. You guys know that I love a sketch. I like making multiple cards. So when they introduced these at the virtual stamp joy in the spring, I was so excited. I didn't buy them at that time, but I did order myself the 2 sets last week and they arrived over the weekend. So that's what I'm going to be working with today. So if you haven't yet seen it, over on the Tailored Expressions channel, I show you how I use this stamp set to create a half sheet of stamped cardstock. And you guys, with the Happy Half Sheet card, I could then make 4 cards. So you can fancy them up as much as you want, kind of like with sheet load. Definitely make these your own, like I added some flowers popped up on there, that were from the background. So if you want to see how I did these and find out all the colors and stuff, down in the description box below is a link to that video. I'm not sure if I set Nightbot up to put it in the chat, but if you're over in the live chat, every once in a while Nightbot will put some messages over there for me that will have some important links for you. So let me show you the Happy Half Sheets. Here is what they look like. They have the original one that they shared at Stamp Joy, and then they came out with volume 2. So inside of each of these packages, which, excuse the noise now, I see some of you were lazy too this weekend. I love it. Here's to lazy weekends. So all of the cards are laminated, guys. So these are to be nice and sturdy for you. You can use them for years. But each one, on one side, it gives you what the cards look like. So this is the card I used for the set I just shared. It also gives you some different color combinations to try out. So if you want to think outside the box and try one of those. And then on the back back side, sorry, the back side, it's going to show you how to cut your stamped piece of cardstock. And yeah, then you just turn that into your final cards. Now today, while I'm creating, just to keep, you know, all their dimensions like kind of private, because, you know, you want to purchase the cards if you want them. As I cut it, I will keep these off to the side, but I am just following the cut lines. Oh, another thing that I should tell you is these cards, they are printed at 100%. So right at actual size, going to give you a good idea of, you know, what size to cut those final pieces. If you would like more information on the Happy Half Sheets, maybe get yourself a set of your own, I do have some links down in the description box, and Nightbot will be helping me out with that as well. Let's take a look. I have not even opened volume 2 yet, so let's take a look together at what these cards look like. So, oops. All the cards make 4 to 5 cards, depending on the sketches. They all take that half sheet. Oh, this one has some mini. Oh, they're all mini slims. That's fun. Here's one. It has a tent topper where the base is a little smaller and it has something sticking off the top. So just, you know, simple cards that you could use these to build up your own card stash. Like that's what I'll be doing these for today. When I send out member mail, these will eventually go to my members. You could give them as gifts. I know lots of people who make cards like to donate them. So great ways to build up that stash. Let's go ahead and I'm going to show you yesterday on my membership tab. I had my members vote on which card they would like me to use today. We had A, B, and C. If you want to now over in the chat, guess at which card won. I'll give you some time and then we will pick that. Now, if you're here watching with us live, you're going to get to help me decide on the color palette that I'll be using today. I am going to be using a different stamp set. This is another one that they came out with. When you do the Happy Half Sheets, it's probably good to have silhouette stamps unless you want to color it in, unless you want to color everything in. So these are just like little, like kind of leafy branches, kind of botanical branches that I'll be stamping with today. Now, I did not pre-stamp a sample pattern. So, you know, this is going to be fun how it turns out, right? All right, I see B, C, and A, lots of B's. Well, the one that won in the poll, B was winning. Oh, yeah, I should have told you A, B, and C. B was winning for a long time, but C pulled it out in the end, you guys. So I am going to be stamping a half sheet of cardstock and turning it into 5 different cards. Now, I will be doing my sentiment a little bit different. It will be a die cut. I'll show you later. But, you know, I want to step it up just a little bit. You know, I love vellum, so we'll be adding that. Now, what you guys get to help me decide on. So these are the cards we're making. This is the stamp set we're using. Which color combo should I do for this? So we have A, B, or C. A, B, C. I'm going to start a poll over in the chat, maybe. And I'm going to give you 2 minutes to vote on which of these colors you would like me, you would like to see me use with this Happy Half Sheet and this stamp set. So go ahead and get your votes in over there and we'll find out which one's going to win. And welcome, welcome to new friends who have joined us. While you're voting, I do want to tell you about a couple upcoming things I have. If you haven't already heard, I will be teaching at this fall's Not Too Shabby virtual retreat, and it is free to register. I have a video all about it on my channel. I don't have that linked below, but if you go to my videos tab, you'll find that. Also coming up for a live stream, Lisa, my sister, and I are getting back together for another Oh So Inspired Live. So we will choose live an inspiration piece submitted by my channel members. And then who's ever in the live chat with us can submit a sabotage. So just a friendly requirement that we have to incorporate. So I hope you'll join us. It's this coming Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central. So if it's too hot outside and you need to stay cool, I hope you'll join us for some crafty fun. We do give away our cards at the end of that to people who are watching. Ellie says, hi, Alicia. Have you been or consider going to Simon Says Stamp Create? It would be awesome to meet you there. I actually was thinking about going this year, but it was on the same weekend that my daughter graduated. So I figure I probably better have priorities. But yeah, going there, I would love to do, and then going to Creativation. So if anybody out there knows a company who wants to let me join them for Creativation, that is the end of the poll. Yeah, let them know. I'd love to go there. So let's go ahead and stop our poll and see which one won. Oh, you guys, I think it was the one I was secretly, let's see. Yeah, it was the one that I was secretly hoping not. But you know what? What I did before I went live is I just grabbed, I did a little random number generator and grabbed those cards. So we will do it. I think, you know, sometimes when I use a color cube card, I look at it, I'm like, oh no, I do not want to use that, but I end up loving it. So, you know, hopefully that will be the same case. So what I want to do now is bring in my little ring of cardstock so we can choose what colors that I'll get out. Now I have okay, I am going to go ahead and try to pick all 6 colors because I'm going to use every stamp on here but the butterfly. I don't know if Karen's Crafting Company is watching replay or in the chat, but sorry that I'm not using the butterflies. I do know they're your favorite, but I think the other ones will kind of go better. So we'll do lemon meringue. And got a pretty blue there. I just tried to get kind of the best match. You know, I probably won't have anything that's exactly correct. Cotton candy. Okay, let's go down to the pinks. Ooh, I think Lollipop would be good. Ooh, this green could be tricky. It's kind of an odd green. It's kind of bluish. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go with Dill Pickle. It's not quite as bluey as that, but it's the closest. A pretty blue here. I think I'll go with blueberry. Getting quite a collection of inks. And finally, what is it? Sometimes on the back they have, okay, I thought it was a little bit more pink. They call it raspberry. So I'm looking for a very reddish pink, which, you know what? Fruit punch. So here is a look at our final colors to go with our color cube card. And I did see Serena had a question. Don't forget to, guys, to put question in front of it so I see it. So Serena wants to know, what are those cards for the colors? So this is from Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cubes, and I have both boxes, volume 1 and 2, and inside are cards that have different pictures with color palettes. I do have the physical version, but she sells a digital copy, and I got these because I've said it many times, if it's not a rainbow, I cannot put together a color combo. So I like to use these, and it steps me outside my box. This right here, the colors I used for this came from one of the cards. I wouldn't have put, I probably would have never put the orange with that blue together, but the card made me step outside my box, and I ended up loving that. So hopefully today we'll love this, right? So now I did already pre-cut, hopefully, my piece of cardstock. Oh, one thing I thought of. Now today I'm going to be stamping, I'm going to be stamping another half sheet of cardstock, but you guys, I really want to try these with patterned paper. So if you would like to see me come back and make some with pattern paper, because you know my love for pattern paper, over in the chat, type in patterned paper. All right, let me know, and then maybe we can do another live. So we have our sheet. I do want to bring in something to stamp onto to catch the ink that'll be coming off the edges. And I almost forgot. So I showed this in the Tailored Expressions video, but what I like to do is go ahead and get out my stamp set. Maybe. So get out my stamp set, and I'm going to go ahead and put one stamp on each of those lids. So later I know which stamp I wanted to go with which color. So I want to start out with the lightest ink with the largest stamp. So Lemon Meringue will be this branch. And then let's see. Now next, I want to look and see, do I want any of these to be a specific color? And I think maybe the little flowers down here, I would like to be Lollipop. So I'll put those on there. And then the rest of these guys, I'm just going to just put them on there. And well, maybe I'm going to do blueberry for the little dots, just because if I do fruit punch for the little dots, that's kind of the same as lollipop. So I want the smaller ones to be a little contrasting. And there we go. All right. I do like to start with the largest stamp first. Just because, when you're filling your jar with rocks and sand, if you want to get in all the nooks and crannies, you put in the rocks and then the sand. So I'm going to start with Lemon Meringue. And again, reminder, I have not practiced a pattern with these, so this could hopefully it won't, but it could go awry. I see many of you want the pattern paper, so I'll have to do that because I do want to try it. I know like pattern paper usually doesn't come in 8.5 by 11 sheets. Sometimes it does. So what I will do, I will just cut an 8.5 by 5.5 piece from a 12 by 12 because I have plenty of that. Let me know too if you have plenty of pattern paper over there. All right. So with this, you do stamp with stamp blocks because if you try to use a MISTI, there'd be too much moving and your cardstock would have to hang outside the MISTI. Now, tip, if you're using clear stamps, so not a rubber stamp where it has the cushion on the back, you'll want to put some kind of cushion underneath your cardstock to help with your impression, because since you're not using the MISTI, you do only have one chance. Let's see. Oops, here we go. Deb had a question. What did you use for random selection? I went to the random.org website and you can I put in 1 through 500 and then I had it give me 3 different numbers. Polly says, can you add link to Stamp and Die Set so I can click it? Polly, yes, I cannot believe I didn't already do that. I will definitely do it after the fact, but if you click on the link below for the Happy Half Sheets, it will take you to the Tailored Expressions page. And right now, this stamp set that I'm using, if you go under like shop what's new, it's going to be in that section with the Happy Half Sheets because it was new last week as well. But yes, after I'm done here, I will add in like the names of the colors and other stuff that I use while we were live. Thank you for checking. All right, should we try to stamp, you guys? Okay. Now, like I said in the video, let me know if you watched the TE video, type TE over in the chat if you watched me make my first set. I like to go in a triangle with my patterns or with my stamps, and I like to start up in the left corner and have it fall off. So let's see, guys, if we can do that. Now, I'm going to set it down. And again, because I only have one shot at this, I'm going to hold it there for a minute. Now, you might feel like you want to rock it. If you do, don't do it too far because sometimes the edges of the rubber here will pick up ink and then you might get that on your sheet. Now, because this paper, it will be rotated, our pattern needs to be non-directional. I am going to rotate my stamp as I go. Oh, great. Rhonda and Michelle have watched my TE video. Thank you so much, guys. I love it when you go over there and give it a view and leave it some love. Oh, you guys, see? You see what I did there? I wasn't paying attention and there was some ink on the edge of that rubber and I must have pressed it. But you know what? We're not going to worry about it because later I can cover that up or it might be covered up by a stamp later. So just keep going. These are not going to be perfect. And I want to try to get another. Oh, yay. So many more TEs coming in. Thank you, guys. There's my friend Danny. Welcome, Danny. Thank you. I do have the video linked in the description box. If you haven't seen it and you want to go watch it, that'd be great. Now that I've got my first triangle done, I'm going to go back to about the same positioning. So turning my stamp the same way. And I'm just going to keep going in triangles. So between these two, I'm putting a third. Just try to keep up, at least for this first one, that same pattern. And then when we go on to the other stamps, we can fill it in. So for the next one, I'm going to emulate that. I go down, try to go about the same, like where these are from each other. Try to do that same thing. And maybe what I should have done here, you know how when they cook on TV, they start, but then they have one kind of in the oven already. That's maybe what I should have done because this could take a while. So hopefully you guys have some time you want to spend with me. So now between these two, I want to do this angle again. And I'm just going to try to fill in this page. If you have ever stamped your own pattern paper or cardstock, let me know over in the chat. Put a 10 over there if you have done it before. If you haven't, why don't you put a 1 and then let us know if you're going to try it. You can make your own color combos. You know, if you just got a new stamp set, you can make it match that. Make your own custom pattern paper to match the stamp set. Yay, I love it. So some of you have done it before. And Susan is going to try it. Barbara, oh, I missed it. Barbara's going to try it. Oh, here, Lori, who accidentally clicked on another 2 hours on the road. She's not going anywhere. Awesome. Hopefully, I will have this done in 2 hours. Oh, and you guys, I did it again. I really got to pay attention to what I'm doing here. And your first thought is going to be to fill in every blank space, but don't forget that we do have other stamps that we're going to put on here, so you don't have to do that. Now, when I did my first sheet, I did not have any overlap, but I think today I will, just because of like the types of stamps they are. I gotta think about. All right. And you do want to make sure that you fall off all the edges just to make it look, you know, more real, like it's a pattern paper. And I'm going to put this stamp right back on that lid in case I need it later. That way I won't have to try to figure out which one I did. And now I'm going to bring in the next biggest stamp, which is Dill Pickle. And I think for this, I'm going to change to a smaller stamp block because it does fit. And this might keep me from rocking it so much. Not that I remember rocking it, but I must have. I do want to test that off to the side. Okay, now we're going to go in between these. Again, I want to kind of rotate it as I go along. Trying to keep the same triangle idea. Oh, yes, Linda, thank you. Linda reminds us to please remember to like the video. Yes, please, if you'll give this video your stamp of approval, that just means a thumbs up, maybe share it with a crafty friend. And speaking of sharing with a crafty friend, I've been posting on my community tab, but you guys, I am now 275 subscribers away from 40,000. So if less than, I think it's 1 in 10 of you, or maybe 1 in 100 of you, sorry, 1 in 100 of you, if you could share it with a crafty friend, family member, coworker, that'd be great, because I would love to hit 40,000 by the end of July. And if you're watching now and you're not yet subscribed, I hope that you'll do that for more crafty videos. Okay, I should not be allowed to stamp, you guys. I have so many more oopsies to cover up. And what I will probably do if I find this just keeps happening with the ink on the edges, you can go in and do, might help if I was overhead. So you can go in and, you know, trim off the edges of some of the rubber if you want, if you find yourself stamping where you don't necessarily want to. Getting those extras. And I'm just trying to get in kind of the open areas and add some more color. Susan says, hopefully I didn't jinx the numbers. Yes, you are right, Susan. I did this one time before. I'm like, oh, help me get to this number. And then I lost a whole bunch of subscribers. So hopefully not. Hopefully not. Ooh, see, that's why you got to hold it down, guys. I didn't get quite all that leaf. And I want to put some right there. Maybe just right on the edge. Just go back in and get any areas you think you might need more of that color. And we'll do cotton candy next. Doing the same thing, just repeat it over and over. You want to add it in the open areas. Twist your stamp to get different angles. And I'm trying to cover up some of those oopsies from the other stamps with the smaller ones. And I'm making more oopsies. You know, this just goes to show you that no matter what our videos look like when we upload edited ones, that all of us crafters are human, and sometimes it doesn't always go exactly right for us either. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to stop with that one for now. You can always go back in, but you cannot take away a stamp that you've done, right? Next up, Fruit Punch. I think again, I'm going to move to a snow. Maybe I don't have, oh, I guess I don't have a smaller block, or right, that I can find. Carmen says she loves these colors. Welcome, Carmen. Thank you. Helga says she likes my oopsie. And Barbara says, I like seeing the problems, helps us know how to fix them. Exactly. You know what? We're just going to cover those up with some more ink as we continue to make more of them. And because, you know, you're kind of making your own pattern paper, it doesn't have to be perfect. And remember, these are going to be cut up in very small sections. So you just want to kind of make sure you have some of the color just spread throughout. Yes, I like Becky's take. She says the imperfections just show it's truly handmade. Yes, definitely. Like they say, it's handmade, not Hallmark, right? There's actually a crafter here on YouTube who has that. I think it's her channel name. But yes. My mom used to always tell me it's a craft. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I will admit I do want things to be as close to perfect as possible when I make them, but sometimes we just have to let go. And I'm just trying to find some areas around the edge that maybe need some of the fruit punch. There we go. All right. Okay, we just have 2 more stamps left. What do you guys think? Are you liking the color cube card that you chose? Susan has a question. She wants to know, does that hold true if it's Hallmark employees making the cards? Probably not. If you're at Hallmark making a card, you probably do want them to look all the same and be perfect, because people are going to be paying a lot of money for those. Okay, now these are some of my favorite stamps in these sets, and they're just like the little ink splatters. Oh, wait, sorry. I don't want to do that one yet. I want to do the larger one. Forget about that. I'll show you that later. We're going to do the one that's slightly bigger in the Lollipop. And for this, I do have a smaller stamp block that I'm going to use. This is going to be one of those that's going to be easy to rock, so I definitely want to be careful. If I had it to do over, I probably would not have chosen both of these. Well, I guess maybe I don't know. I don't like kind of how these are almost the same color and they're went on shortly after each other, but we're gonna live with it. And here I am just trying to fill in any big areas, well, big areas, any of the larger openings that are left, fill those in and just again keep rotating. All right, I think I'm going to stop with that one. And finally, we are going to the last one. And like I mentioned, this is one of my favorites. They're just little, just splatters, just great to add anywhere where you need some extra color. The original set I used had 2 splatter stamps. Yeah, just a nice finale. It's filling in those final open areas. And because this is nice and little, I can do a few of these, maybe a few extra. Again, you want to make sure that you're going over the edge. You want things to fall off of it. All right, you guys, I think I am going to stop there. Now, later when I watch the video back, I'll see all kinds of places that I should have put another stamp. In fact, you know what? Sorry, I do see one right now. I'm going to add one right there. Okay. But again, you could keep going all day, and sometimes less is more. All right. Susan tagged me. You should scan the paper so you can use it over and over again or again and again. That would be a good idea. I am pretty frugal with my color printer, though. So, oh my goodness, you guys. It didn't do anything. But yes, you could just make sure that you don't like sell those cards or anything since you are scanning company artwork. All right, I think now I can set all these to the side. I am going to leave the stamps that I chose on top of each one, just in case, like with my original set that I did for Tailored Expressions, I did come back in after the cards were put together, and one of my cards didn't have any of that mold line, any of those hearts. So I did just stamp it real quickly onto one of my finished cards just to get that color and that image on that one. Now, what I'm going to do, we're going to cut these down for our cards. And like I mentioned, so, right, yeah, this was the one that was chosen by my channel members. Shout out again to my channel members who are here in the chat. And like I mentioned, if you were here at the beginning, I'm going to keep the dimensions off to the side just because, you know, they are kind of proprietary. It's the same reason why I don't sit and hold sheet load in front of the camera for a long time, because Tailored Expressions wants you to buy their happy half sheets if you want the dimensions. And if you want the dimensions for sheet load, I want you to watch that video, right? Since it's a free PDF you can download. So I will keep this off to the side as I'm cutting, but I'll bring it back in when we're ready to put the cards together. Elizabeth D says, why couldn't it be sold? So stamp companies have angel policies, and those are the rules that they allow you how to share things that you make with their stamps, because they still do own the copyright to those images. So most of it like I've never seen an angel policy where it says you can scan and use that it has to be hand stamped. So hopefully that makes sense. Other people in the chat might be able to answer you a little bit more thoroughly. All right. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. And now, guys, we're going to start turning this into cards. So I will kind of just show you this. So, oh no, these are some of them you cut this straight in half, but oh yeah, you do, because this is 4 1/4. So a lot of them you cut your piece straight in half. So that's what I like to do first, and then cut down each side. Oh, somebody wants to know the name of the stamp set. So I have not added the stamp set to the description box yet, but if you click on the Happy Half Sheets and do what's new, it will come. This is fresh foliage. And I believe it's a stamp and die combo. I believe when I bought it, it came with the dies too. I don't think that was some like an option I had to add on. Now I'm going to cut 2 inches off the bottom of this. Like that. I guess I better not tell you all my secrets. And then we're going to cut this down to the final size. And it does tell you on the guide, like, this is what I'll need for card number 1. So I want to keep those together. This is card number 2. And then over here, we're going to get 3, 4, and 5. Three. And there we go. Just a reminder, if you are coming in late, I don't want to miss any of your questions. So make sure if you do have a question for me, when I look over, I'm looking for either a capital question in front of it, or if you tag me like Susan did above, where she starts typing in @CallMeCraftyOwl, and then she can click on her device and it highlights it for me. If you just have general questions for the chat, just go ahead and put those in there. I just don't want to miss anything if it's important that you want my answer. All right, now I have to decide which color I want my card bases to be. But I also wanted, so on the cards, some of these pieces, I might want to either add like little strips next to my pattern paper or mat it. So I want a color for my card base, and I also want a color for my mat. I think for my base, I'm going to go with the yellow with lemon meringue, and for my mat to be kind of I had the word before. Oh, contrast. To contrast, I'm going to go with the blueberry. So I'm going to get out some of that cardstock. So I guess I'll get out a full sheet of the blueberry. And then for the lemon meringue, I need 3 sheets for my bases. Yeah, the name of the stamp set, again, I'll add it afterward, but it's in that what's new section, is fresh foliage. Okay, and then I want 3 sheets of the lemon meringue. I'm going to put these off to the side, just keep them separate so I know which card they go to. This one, I'm going to go ahead and cut in half to 4 1/4 just so I can use the other half for a card base later, and then I don't cut it down too small. And then we'll use this one for the matting and the little strips. And then for my card bases, I usually like to do top fold cards. You know what? I can. Okay, so 4 of these are vertical or portrait, and I like to do those top folds. So I will cut 2 sheets in half like that, and then that third sheet I had to get out, I'll cut for a fold along the long side. Deb wants to know, are the finished card size 4 1/4 by 5 1/2? Yes, Deb, these are. I did notice, so in Happy Half Sheets Volume 2, they do have some mini slim lines. But yes, all of the ones in Volume 1 are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So there I have my 4 top fold, and on this one, I'm going to cut to 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And then I'll just save this half for later. And I always like to use my Scor-Buddy for my card bases. I didn't always use my, I guess, Score Pal, the mini one. I didn't always use this when I made card bases because I used to use a lot of cardstock that was not heavyweight for my card bases. But all of the Tailored Expressions, it's about the same weight. And I just like to have a little bit of help in folding that. So I will use this. I like to do a few scores. Maybe they might be a little bit gentler than if you were only going to do one. But sometimes I used to press too hard and then my tool would like just fall out of the track. So go a little bit slower and do a couple more. Let me know, are you crafting along today? Are you just watching? Are you on the road? Let us know what you're doing while you watch. And if you're watching the replay, let us know too if you're crafting while you watch or listen. Polly says, I love your watch band. How it matches the color palette. Thank you. I love a rainbow. So when I got my Apple Watch, I had to have that band. I tried to. So here's probably something nobody wants to know, but I got this, you know, it's one of those rubber bracelets, you know, that you can, sometimes they'll do it for fundraisers and stuff. It says always in my heart. So I got this when my mom was on hospice from her hospital room. And you guys, I cannot bring myself to take it off. Like, I feel like if I take it off, then I've forgotten about her or something. And sorry, not to be a downer, but you know, so I keep it on. It reminds me of her every day. Well, I thought maybe what I could do to help myself take it off and be comfortable is try to find a cloud watch band, you know, try to combine the two. I'd have like half rainbow, half clouds, but alas, I cannot find a cloud iWatch band. If anybody has a link to one, leave it down in that comment section. Ooh, some of you are watching and crafting. Martha's watching and learning. So glad. Carmen's just drinking some morning coffee here. I can't, oh, there it is. Drinking her morning coffee. Fussy cut while her husband drives. Yes, please do not try to fussy cut and drive. Oh, yes. So Princessa Kelly, yeah, sometimes it's hard to know when it's right to let go or something. I don't know. I mean, I'll never let go of my mom and you'll never let go of your grandson, but something like this, like I tried one day to leave it off and I had to put it right back on. All right, so now we have our card bases, and let's go ahead. Now I'm going to bring this back in. So card number 1 is these 3 sections, and they look pretty much the same width, but they are actually a little bit different. The outsides are a little skinnier. I know it's hard to tell, which, by the way, I need to figure out. I want to make sure that the pattern flows. There we go. So I'm not going to mat this one since it does take up a lot of the front. So we'll pass on that. Let's see a couple. Susan says Etsy has a whole bunch according to my quick Google search. I'll have to check it out again. When I looked, I couldn't find any, so I will check that out. And Karen says, you wear that as long as you need to. The day might come where you can take it off, and that won't mean you've forgotten her. Yeah, you're right. I know. It's all in my head. Yeah, it is definitely all in my head. I could take it off, and my mom knows I love her still, but sorry. Kind of bringing down the live. All right, now this is going to be the one card that I want this fold. And now I'm going to have to, normally I would put this on a mat, like put these 3 pieces on a mat and then center this on my card base. And it might be easier to center these on a smaller mat. But you guys, I don't have that luxury. Like I have to get these on this card base kind of right the first time. So I think what I'll do is I'll try to, I think like with most of my like sheet loads when I have 3 pieces, I'm going to do the outsides first. So I know when I go to put these on, I want about that same border. So cross your fingers. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, thank you guys for all the words of encouragement about my trying to let my always in my heart band go. I did see somebody said to frame it. All right, so now, okay. So I tried my best to get the same border, and now I'm going to try my best. Let me make sure I'm doing the right one here. I'm going to try my best to get this one down here with that same border as well. Okay, now I'm going to put this third one just centered between those and try to make sure it's at the same height up and down. Okay, now you can see this one's a little off, so I'm hoping I didn't press too hard. Yay, I didn't. I can pick that back up, and we're going to adjust it just a little bit. So if you're using something like a tape runner, maybe be just a little bit gentle with placing it down that first time in case you need to adjust it. Here we go. So there is card number 1, at least the background done. It does give you suggestions for sentiments, which we will put one on later. Card number 2, let's see, just has, guys, did I cut this wrong? Oh no, there's my piece that I thought I was missing. So card number 2 just has this kind of going across it. And, you know, if you find, like, I think mine is going to be a little too wide. So what I'm going to do is align it, you know, because if, like, I cut it, like, not exactly the same, I'm going to align it here on this bottom side. And, yes, it's just a little bit over. So that is quick and easy to just snip that off. Just like that. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to set it to the side for now, but we are going to come back in later and add some of the blueberry cardstock. The next one is another top fold. Super simple and quick. We're just going to put this piece over on the left side. And if you find that this piece would be too short or something, you could just cut your card base a little shorter, but it is a little bit longer here. So let me just snip, maybe. That. And then, so these last two, they use the same size piece, but you'll see this one is down just a little bit lower than that other square. So this kind of has even borders on the top and the two sides. Oh, which here, thinking about tailored expressions, did anybody get signed up for Stamp Joy this fall? I did get signed up. I know now, I'm pretty sure it's on waiting list. But yeah, maybe I will get to see you in person there. There we go. And then finally, we have another square. But this time, the border at the top is a little smaller. And what I'm kind of like twisting this, knowing where I'm going to put my sentiment later, if I can cover up any of those oopsies. So here, we're going to center it left to right, but we're going to leave it just like that. Oh, you guys, I wanted to mat these. What am I thinking? I know the others I set to the side because I'm going to do something different, but these I wanted to mat. So I'm going to cut those now. I don't think that's right. I think these were 2 3/4. So make sure. Yeah, these were 2 3/4. Sorry. See, good thing I used some ATG. Here, we haven't heard this one yet today. Oh, Tina tried to help me out there. Tina said your blue mats. Yes, I forgot them. Since I had kind of put those others off to the side for now, because I'm just going to do strips. I'm kind of in that mindset, but yes. I did want mats on these. So I am cutting these 1/4 of an inch larger on each side from the squares themselves. Oops, almost didn't. Just for a little border. I always say, I see now Michelle was wondering too. I always say I need someone right here in my craft room who could be like, stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing. Pay attention. Little voice inside my head, but it's an actual voice. Okay, let's try that again. So this is the one that I'll try to get even borders on the top and sides. And this one will be the one where the top is a little bit of a smaller border. There we go. All right, now I think, okay, darn it. Okay, so I wanted to try to use scraps for this next one, but for that, what is it, card number 3, I'll have to bring in a different scrap. But for this, what I'm going to do is I am going to cut some strips that I like maybe 1/16. Oh, that's kind of small. I'm going to do 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to cut 2 strips that are 1/8 of an inch. Like, look how teeny tiny those are. For that card. And then I need a bigger scrap. Let's see if oh, you know what? I'm going to use this piece. I'm glad I kept this because I can just cut off that long edge and I don't have to cut a whole like big piece of cardstock. I like to be frugal with my cardstock, and this too I'm going to cut another 1/8 of an inch strip. There we go. Sorry about my loud trimmer, you guys. And I'm going to stop for a quick water drink. Like, I thought I turned on the air, but it's feeling a little warm down here in the basement. Usually I'm pretty cold. All right. Now, I'm going to bring back in the 2 cards that needed that. So this one, I'm going to be using my Barely Art Glue. Make sure it's started. And I'm just going to put a thin row of glue right next to that piece of pattern paper that I created. Okay. Then take my strip I just cut, and I'm going to put it right up against there. And I am not trying at all to match like the top up here because it's extra long. I'm just having it go over both ends. And then I'm going to do kind of the same thing on this. I'm going to put a line of glue. Yes, thank goodness I saw Susan said, I think her air... Oh, your air wasn't working. Oh, yes, that is never fun. I'm glad it's back to working again. Okay, this one, I did make a mistake on this. This one did kind of have to be perfect. I did not cut it longer. But yes, thank goodness for air conditioning. Okay. Yes, I just love the little bit of definition this gives to the pattern paper. Now, I'm sure this has had time to dry, so I'm going to just cut off the ends. Welcome to Eileen from Kansas. I lived in Olathe, if you know where that's at, for like 20 years almost. Says, loves my sheetload sketches, had one in her hand from November 21, and now she's searching YouTube, and there I am. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. All right, now, you guys, it's time for a sentiment. Yeah, Carmen says, oh, her craft room's in her basement and never hot. Until this year, Carmen, it was always like freezing cold down here too, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because it's very humid, our dehumidifier is not working. So maybe it's because it's more humid. All right, now for my sentiment, what did I do with it? There we go. For my sentiment, I just got this die out of my stash. Cannot remember where it came from and didn't write it on the back. It just says hello. So it can be sent for many occasions. And I am going to be die cutting it out of scraps of the blueberry. Now, speaking of scraps, instead of using this big one, I'm going to pull in, I kind of have this one with some left over at the end and a smaller one. I'm going to pull these in and cut from those first. Who likes to make the most out of their scraps? Let me know over there in the chat. I definitely try to. I got out a couple weeks ago, I got out 2 brand new plates for top and bottom. And guys, when you know that even though I try to be careful, I still forgot and cut into the one I did not want to. Let me know if that sounds like something you might do too. And I'm going to cut out 5 of these hellos. Great, I see lots of you like to use your scraps wisely. Awesome. Now, if it's white cardstock, I'm usually not as worried about it. But if I'm using some of my good color cardstock, I definitely try to use every little bit that I can. Cheryl had a scraps. The struggle is real. How small can a piece be to save it? Oh, Cheryl, I had that problem too. I'd save something that's like a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. Now I have stopped that, but if it's a couple inch square, I do keep it. Let us know in the chat, what is the smallest scrap that you keep? Oh, you know what? I have these even smaller scraps. I'm going to cut from those first. Your Stellar Crafts by Pam says she keeps the scraps the same as me. I find that she finds she uses them more often. So I'm guessing that you mean you just keep your scraps in here. Definitely. Since I started doing this, I definitely, instead of like pulling out the plastic bins that I had, I can just grab whatever cardstock it is and yes, look for the scraps. I love that. Let's see. How small do people keep? Each piece as small as can be for Helga. Pam says she keeps 1/4 inch strips for sentiments. Okay, if it was a strip, I might keep that too. That would go against my like 2 inch by 2 inch square. Yes, if they are white scraps that are like a 1/2 inch a strip, I will keep those. So I do understand that. All right. Kind of got sidetracked from cutting my sentiments. I always love chatting with you guys, but you probably don't want to be here quite all day with me, so I will try to get back to business. Okay. And after I'm done die cutting the sentiments, I do have one more thing I want to die cut. Can anybody guess what I might be putting behind my sentiment? What is something I love to add to cards? Jane said, what is the folder your scraps from and where to get them? I got those at Amazon. Jane, I will make a note. I'll make a note to add those to the description box later too. I'll go in and like add the stamp set and I'll add those too. But yes, I love them. I think I get them 30 at a time, but they have been super handy. And then I just make my own labels on my computer. Oh, let's see. Oh, here, sorry. We have Cheryl got it. Carmen, Trina. Yes, so many of you know me so well. Rainbows, vellum, and clear cardstock. Definitely. I will be using some vellum, yes, behind my sentiments. So I'll be doing a little bit more die cutting. Two more sentiments, you guys. Does anybody have any plans for the rest of the day? I probably need to do some cleaning and start some laundry. I haven't done that in a while. And probably try to figure out something for dinner. But I don't know that I'll be crafting anymore today. Like, I don't have any videos that I have to make after this. Susan says, is vellum, question in the chat, sorry, I just saw, is vellum actually made of the skin of animals? I read that somewhere and haven't bought any because of that. I mean, I couldn't tell you for sure, but I'm sure vellum used to be. I don't know if it is anymore. But what's that? There's like a kind of paper that people used to use for resumes a lot. It wasn't vellum, but that seemed to have an animal look to it, an animal hide look. But I don't know. I think now if vellum was made with animal hide, I don't know if many people would be using parchment. Yes, Susan, parchment. Yeah, is what I was thinking of, parchment paper. And heck, maybe that was an animal. But yeah. I would guess no, but I do not have I don't have 100% answer for that. It's like fur coats. Don't really see them made out of actual animals anymore. It's like fake. All right, or hopefully it is. There's 5 of those. Now, I picked out a circle, a stitch circle. It's not going to quite cover the whole thing left to right, but I thought it would help this stand out. So I'm going to cut 5 of these. I did already pre-trim down a piece of vellum. I always keep 3 different weights of vellum here in my stash. I have 17 pound, 28 pound, and I think 36. And this is 28 and is probably my most used weight. I think it's not too thick where it covers up too much of what's behind it, but then it's not too thin where whatever's on top doesn't stand out. Oh, there we go. Tina came in with the win. Tina says, modern paper vellum is made of plant cellulose. Thank you, Tina. Kind of like paper, right? Made from plants. Okay, I cut 2 circles so far, but don't know where that other one is. If anybody saw where I put it. And I know I cut 2 because I have 2 holes here. I know, like, somebody in the chat is going to see where I put that and shout it out. Yes, I like that. Pam says that she learned something new today. I love it when we can learn something new. There's the other one. It was just hiding. And here, Marilyn was watching out for me. She knew where my vellum circle was. One more. That's going to be all my die cutting. So I'm going to put this away for now. Got to make sure I put my dies where they won't get lost. I put them in my little magnet tray. And now I have my 5 vellum circles and my 5 sentiments. And because these might be hard to hold on to, I got to pull in my handy dandy tweezers. Now, if you guys use tweezers in your crafting, I hope that you have the reverse ones. Let me know. These to open them, you squeeze instead of squeezing it when you close, but these are so handy. So I just open it up and then I let it hold my die. I don't have to squeeze it. All right. I'm just going to go put some on the back of my die cut. Want to be kind of careful because I don't want it to squeeze out too much from the sides. It does dry nice and matte and clear, but it's not always perfect. Then just kind of hold how I want it in place and then squeeze and remove the tweezers. So there we have our sentiments. I'll just do that for each of these. Now today I'm not going to decorate these probably any further, but you know that original set I made, I added those stamped and die cut flowers. I might go in later and add some, you know, sparkle because you know I love that. But I won't be, you know, stamping any of the branches. You know, you could stamp, where is my stamp set now? I lost it, guys. Oh no. So, you know, if you wanted, you could go in and stamp some more of these and die cut them and add them as accents. But today I'm just going to use my sentiments. I see, welcome, Adelheid. You'll have to, I'm probably butchering that. Trying my best German accent. Denise says she loves her reverse tweezers. Me too. I did have an issue at first, remembering to squeeze to open. I get you there. My watch is telling me to stand up again. I am standing. I stand while I craft so my watch can kick rocks. Anybody else's watch sass them? Tell them what to do all day long. All right. Now let's bring back in. So this, if you're coming in later, this is the happy half sheet that my channel members chose. And then live viewers chose this color combo, this color cube card for the pattern paper that I stamped. And now I'm going to kind of leave this in here so you can see it. And I'm going to use these sentiment suggestions as I put on my sentiments on my cards. All right, so here we have the cards that I've made. So stamped that pattern cardstock and cut it up per the cutting guides here. And now, so this says to kind of, it suggests in the center. I actually like things a little offset, so I'm going to put mine over to the right. And when I add my adhesive to the back of my hello, I'm going to try to stay right behind the die cut word so that if it doesn't squish out from the vellum. So Becky voluntarily sets up her phone to sass her. And Princessa noticed, yes, I am so quiet while I glue. That, when I glue and when I color, I do get pretty quiet. So this one, it does have it kind of off to the right, so I'll leave it that. And I should have been a little bit quiet earlier when I was doing my my stamping so I didn't make all those oopsies, but you know what? You'd have to look pretty hard now to see them, so it's all good. And let's see, this one's next, and this one is a little kind of touching the strip, but down from the center, down toward the bottom. Go. Yeah, I definitely think I'll probably add some enamel dots or gems or something to these. This first one, so this is the one where we have the even border on the top and sides. This suggests in the center. I am going to do this one in the center of that square. Just because the square is already kind of offset, it's not perfectly centered on the card. So doing this with the liquid glue, it gives me some wiggle time too. And now if I made, you see the vellum behind it. If I would have put the hello directly onto that pattern, it might not have stood out as well. But here you can still see that pattern behind it, but it also kind of helps offset or helps that hello stand out. And finally, card number 5. It kind of has it just below it centered, and I'll do that too. All right, you guys, in a second. And now we have our 5 cards. So if you love happy half sheets, make sure to check out those links in the description box. Get more information, order them for yourself. I think the set, let's see. This has 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they both have 5 cards, and I think they're nice and laminated, printed double-sided for the cards. I think these were $7 or $8 a set. I can't remember, but I did purchase these. I purchased 1 and 2, and let's see. So we have our card, and then we have our happy half sheet, sorry, and then I have the cards that I made from it. So again, I love a sketch. I love mass producing cards. Oh yeah, Helga here. Helga's verifying $7. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I'm like, maybe it was 8. Oh, and Becky said 7. She just purchased them. Thank you so much. Speaking of purchasing, you guys, if you do use my links below, some of them are what are called affiliate links. And that means that it doesn't cost you anything extra, but I get a small portion of it. So if you ever have a creator who's used something that you really like, please use their links if they have them. It just, like for me, it helps me keep creating here on YouTube. When I get that little bit of money, I just put that right back into buying more supplies to craft with. So if your favorite creators do have those links, help them out. And even let's say you didn't want to buy the happy half sheets from Tailored Expressions, but you want one of their other stamp sets. If you click on my link and then go purchase that other one, it will give me credit for it. So it's always appreciated. Okay, now guys, I have, let's see, we have card 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I am going to give one of these away, and the person whose name is drawn on the screen will get to choose which of the cards they want me to send to them. So it's just like kind of a little thank you for being here watching with me. I will tell you how you're going to do that. So what I want you to do is in the chat, over in the chat, one time, if you would like to win a card from me, you do not have to enter. Totally up to you. Type in #happy. #HAPPY. It should look exactly like it does on screen, no spaces, and you only need to type it once. Now, if by chance you look up and you see, oh no, I added a space, retype it, get your entry in, but please don't type it like 10 times. You get 10 entries. It is just an entry per username here. And I'm going to give you just a couple minutes to get your hashtag happy in, and then we'll do the drawing, you guys. And then once I do the drawing, make sure to stick around. I will tell everyone, or I'll tell the winner how they're going to claim the card. And the winner will also need to let me know, you do have to be here for this. Let me know which card you want, and I'll show you those again so you can let me know. So, maybe while you're waiting here, if you want to go ahead and let me see if I can. So it'll still collect your names. But while you're waiting, think about if you win, which would you like? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? And then you'll be ready when I ask you. No, it won't let me. I got to get back to. Okay, I guess I have to be like that. I don't know how I got it the other way before. Was it this? No. All right. So get those in. Another thing that you'll have to know, if you are the lucky winner, you'll have to know what username comes up on screen. So make sure to pay attention, because sometimes your username in chat, which is what it will take from today, are different than your username, like if you leave a comment below. And you will need to know that when you go to fill out the form. While I'm waiting for that, we do have, oh my goodness, there are 90. Oh, you guys, I got to get back to this. You guys. So I just went to look at how many stamps of approval I had, because I always like to check. Guys, it says 92 of you are, that's the timer. It says 92 of you are watching, and I have 91 thumbs up on this video. Now, some people might have fallen off and who already gave it a thumbs up. So if you're here watching and haven't yet given the video your stamp of approval, I would love a thumbs up or a share. Let's go ahead and let's find a winner. So we're going to draw. Good luck to everyone. Your name might not show up on screen, but everybody who did put in their hashtag is entered. It shows maybe, oh, Karen C, congratulations. So Karen C, let me know which card you want. And then to claim your card, this is very important. So now you're going to tell me which one you want. To claim it, down pretty far down in the description box is a link to a Google form. You're going to fill that out. And then I need you to do it within 24 hours. And then I will send your card out to you. So just let me know which one you want. As we're finishing up here, guys, if you have any final questions for me, go ahead and put those in the chat, because I can answer a few if you have it quickly before we go. Don't forget, I will come back later and I will update the description box with the other products that I use. So Karen C says that she would like number 3. So 1, 2, 3. All right. And Karen, I'll probably add some embellishments to that, but I have your name on that. So make sure to fill out the form. I would just go do it like as soon as we're done, just to make sure that you get it in, because like I won't follow up or try to track anybody down. Yes. So I do see a question. Carmen says, do you like pattern vellum? I do, Carmen, but I don't have a lot of it. I do. Anything vellum, right? Vellum, rainbows, clear stuff. Yes. Princess Kelly says, where can I get the color block sets? I will add those to the description box as well. They are from Sarah Renee Clark. And yeah, I will get that. I'll try to do it quickly after we're done here. So if you come back and like, what is it? Maybe give me till 12:30, come back, and then I'll have it in the description box. I have a lot of videos too on my channel where I use them. So I will add that playlist to the description box as well, because I love the color cube. I think most of you in the chat know that. All right, guys. Oh, you know what too? Susan says, link in the description box. I think I might have a link to the color cube in my like standard shopping links area, like where you know, I do the related products with links, and then underneath that I have like links to just different stores that I'm affiliated with. Sarah Renee Clark or Color Cube might be in that list. Thank you for the reminder on that, Susan, but I will add that afterward. Yay. Yes, in the shopping area. Awesome. Cool, cool. So yeah, that link is below, but I will come back later and I'm going to add the paper holders, and I will add the rest of the stuff I used. All right, guys. Well, it looks like I'm going to give about 5 more seconds for questions while I take a drink and try to cool down. I love going live with you guys, but it is a little warmer down here, but I also get a little nervous, so that might be adding to it. All right, guys. Well, you know, as I like to say, until my next video, I hope you're all having a crafty day. Bye-bye.